Tonight on Carolina News, team coverage of the University of South Carolina's plans for graduation in the fall 2021 semester. McMaster dropped the statewide mask mandate, but the city of Columbia may not be participating. And with spring break around the corner, one university has a unique way to make sure students are staying safe. All this and more now on Carolina News.
From the University of South Carolina, your news, your sports, your weather. Carolina News begins now.
Hello and welcome to Carolina News. I'm Brianna Moody.
Good afternoon, I'm Tom Santinello. If you're a senior at the University of South Carolina, you might want to hurry up and arrange hotel reservations for May. The university announced this morning that graduation will be in person at Williams-Brice Stadium.
We have team coverage tonight at USC moving forward, starting with Elizabeth East live at the stadium. She has word on what graduation will look like and the announcement expected to look Elizabeth.
That's right. University officials graduation will be held right here in Williams-Brice Stadium, and university officials did not make this decision lightly. They worked with public health experts, and many safety precautions are in place.
From a public health perspective, that makes sense to be open air. There will be some social distancing between participants and graduates. And we're also requiring face coverings.
Graduation has moved outside this year due to the pandemic, but future graduates don't mind.
I'm pretty excited about it. Now I know that it's a person my family will be able to come, and I think it's going to be here, so that'll be even better.
Students aren't the only ones that should be excited. With graduation being in person, businesses like hotels and restaurants will get what they have been missing the past 2 semesters. Business from people coming to town for graduation.
If to the extent that we do see an uptick in demand for leisure and hospitality and for the service sector as a result of in-person graduation, that is going to help facilitate and move the service sector back towards more normal economic conditions.
That economic impact will be carried out because each graduate will be allowed to bring a minimum of 5 guests. Reporting live from Williams-Brice Stadium, Elizabeth East, Carolina News.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Brianna, I'm so excited that the university is having graduation, rain or shine, but I'm really hoping that it's going to be sunny just like it is today.
Same here. The weather this week has been perfect. Let's check out with Spencer for our first forecast. Spencer, how's the weather out there?
Well, the weather out here is absolutely perfect, like you said, Brianna, and it would be the perfect day to host an outdoor graduation ceremony. Unfortunately, I can't predict what the weather will be like in May, but what I can tell you is it is going to be beautiful for the next few days. Rain rolls in a little bit later in the week, but I'll tell you about that in our 5-day forecast coming up in a little bit. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Spencer. As we look ahead to graduation, USC also announced that its plans for the fall 2021. Our Elizabeth Countess continues our team coverage, adding how USC will move forward with classes during the pandemic.
USC students are heading back to classrooms for face-to-face instruction in the fall. And freshmen who have always been to college during the pandemic are excited to see what normal used to be like.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll by that time, it should be pretty safe to get back in the classroom, with or without masks. I'm not too sure about that.
But this does bring up the question of will we still have a mask mandate? USC spokesman Jeffrey Stensland says the university is considering removing masks, but it is too early in the year to tell.
And a lot of it depends on where we're at with the virus by the time the fall semester begins. Obviously, if it's still a significant threat, we will have a mask mandate, but it's just too early to tell for now.
USC thinks that with the dropping cases not only nationwide, but also statewide and the vaccine rollout, and gives them the confidence to go back to in-person classes. Many students are looking forward to the in-person classes as a way to retain what they learned better than online.
I've had a few face-to-face classes this semester, and they've been much better than my Zoom classes, so I'm definitely looking forward to that.
And those looking forward to heading to college in the fall can start making those final decisions on where to go.
And what it does, it provides additional certainty to our students and families, including those admitted applicants who are right now trying to make a decision on where they'll attend in the fall.
Although the mask mandate is up in the air for the fall, the university will continue to still test for COVID, and we will continue to follow CDC guidelines until then. For Carolina News, I'm Olivia Countess.
So far, there are no requirements to get the COVID-19 vaccine to return to campus in the fall.
USC's announcement to move to face-to-face this fall comes after Governor Henry McMaster dropped the statewide mask mandate in state buildings last week. McMaster updated the executive order requiring masks to be worn inside restaurants and government buildings, saying that it has become unnecessary. On Tuesday, the governor explained his decision, which was based on the decreasing number of COVID cases, along with the increasing number of vaccinations in the state. Although masks aren't required at the state level, local mask ordinances still apply. One of those local mask ordinances still in effect is right here in Columbia. The Columbia City Council is looking to keep masks around a little bit longer. Our Sloan O'Cohen spoke to a city council member and people in the community to find out more.
Last week, Governor McMaster was in the State House working on easing COVID-19 restrictions. But next week, here in Columbia, City Council members are planning on keeping them around a little while longer. Columbia City Council members are working to extend the citywide mask ordinance for another 60 days. Columbia has had a mask ordinance in effect since June 2020. The council is taking public health officials' advice into consideration, stating that we are not out of the woods yet. Councilman Howard Duvall is already vaccinated, but still thinks it's necessary.
The easiest thing that the people can do to help prevent the spread of coronavirus is to wear the mask protections.
Duvall is not the only one who believes it's our moral obligation. I talked to some people on Main Street to see what they thought about the extension.
No one's gonna like it, but I mean, that's kind of in the world that we're in today.
I love it, really. Helps save lives and also keeps your face warm too.
But with warmer weather on the way, Duvall hopes that we won't need masks to keep us warm or protect us from coronavirus.
This virus follows the pattern of other viruses like the flu, then it usually goes down in the summertime.
The council will meet next week before the ordinance expires in the first few days of April. They hope it will be the last time the mandate is extended. For Carolina News, I'm Sloan O'Cohen.
The City Council plans to have the issue on their agenda on March 16th. As mask mandates take a step back, COVID numbers across the state are still dropping. Now there are just over 400 new cases across the state, and there are 3 new deaths. DHEC also announced that more than 1 million doses of the vaccine have been distributed to South Carolinians, and more than 500,000 people have appointments to get their shot. South Carolina currently has a 4.7% positive COVID rate.
With the weather heating up, many students are heading out of town for spring break. As crowds of people arrive at their destination, Dr. Anthony Fauci says that students should still be taking COVID seriously.
We want people to have a good time on spring break, but don't put your guard down completely. Just be prudent a bit longer. We are going in the right direction.
Dr. Fauci adds that it's normal for students to want to have a good time, but reducing precautions should be a gradual process that comes as more people get vaccinated. With some officials warning against traveling this spring break, the University of California, Davis is paying students to stay on campus during the break from classes. Students at UC Davis have the option to apply for a grant offered by the university where they would receive $75 for staying home. To prove that they stayed on campus, students have to pick up the gift card from the bookstore on campus and during the week. I don't know about you, but I'm a little jealous right now.
Yeah, getting paid to stay on campus and not have to go to class, you really just can't beat that. But next on Carolina News, the U.S. House of Representatives passed a COVID stimulus bill today. Why it may take a little longer to see some of those benefits. Coming up next.